Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day's webinar entitled Webinar Series Transformational Technologies for Sustainable Cities and Communities, Session 1, Technologies for Clean Environment, brought to you by the Department of Science and Technology, Regional Office 6, in partnership with the Industrial Technology Development Institute. Please be informed that the registration is still ongoing and the link is posted on the screen. May we request those who have not yet registered to please click on the link for attendance. We will start at exactly 9 a.m. Thank you.
Start again.
Okay na siya, ma'am?
9:30 yung sa program.
Mic check.
Ako marinig mo.
Remind everyone except for the speaker and moderator to be on listen-in mode by putting your microphone on mute. Refrain from making unnecessary sound or visual that may disrupt the presentation, and please do not press the present button. Thank you. I guess we are all set. Good morning everyone. Magandang umaga po sa lahat or maayong aga sa tanan. I welcome you again to the webinar series entitled Transformational Technologies for Sustainable Cities and Communities, Session 1, Technology for Clean Environment, brought to you by the Department of Science and Technology Regional Office 6 in partnership with the Industrial Technology Development Institute. I am Julius Ramar Gabiata of the Department of Science and Technology Regional Office 6, providing S&T service in Western Visayas, and I am your moderator for today. Before we start, may we request Ms. Novelin Ann Factuar of DOST Region 6 to lead the prayer.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day that you have made. We thank you, Lord, for the fruitful planning and preparation that took part among the organizers and facilitators that made this webinar activity possible. Today, we ask for your divine presence, wisdom, and guidance. Help us all to successfully accomplish the goals we have set for this morning, and that by your grace, we can develop more activities alike. We declare your blessings towards our speakers as well as our participants today. We pray that this activity may invoke learning to all and most importantly, serve as an avenue where locally developed technologies can be put into great use, especially by our local government units and small and medium enterprises. Lastly, we just want to altogether pray for your healing hands to be upon our kababayans hit by the COVID-19. And we pray that everyone joining us today continue to be in good health. Heal us, Lord, and heal our land. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Novi. To start, Let us hear an opening message from Engineer Rowan R. Helonga, DOST6 Regional Director. Sir.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to acknowledge our participants coming not only from Western Visayas, but from other parts of the country as well. There are two modes of joining our webinar. Some of us are viewing the webinar by way of the Google Meet platform, while others are logging in at the One Expert portal, where they can also participate in our webinar today. And so this year, 2020, is supposedly the 20th year of implementation of Republic Act 9003, or it is known as the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2009. So 2 decades had passed, but compliance to its provisions are actually quite dismal. It is reported that majority of our local government units have actually inactive solid waste management boards, while a significant number have not even bothered to establish their management boards. Majority have not prepared and submitted their solid waste management plans or put up MRFs or material recovery facilities, as well as close all open and controlled dump sites. But amidst this failure to implement the law, the generation of solid waste continues to increase significantly. It was actually estimated that in 2012, we generated 37 tons, or rather, 37,000 tons per day of solid waste in the entire country. This went up to 40,000 tons in 2016. And it is estimated that by 2025, 5 years from now, we will be producing almost 78,000 tons or 78 million kilograms of solid waste every day. Our air pollution is likewise a major concern. A recent study of the World Health Organization reported that the Philippines has the third number of people who die due to air pollution-related diseases or illnesses. Every year, around 45 out of 100,000 Filipinos die because of polluted air. This is around 50,000 people if we go by a population count of 100 million Filipinos. Greenpeace, on the other hand, claims that in 2018, there were 11,000 to probably as high as 27,000 air pollution-related premature death in the country. And so it is indeed challenging to address pollution and its cause, the massive generation of waste, especially for developing countries like ours, which is trying to ramp up industrialization efforts. However, it is not impossible because there are a lot of simple and basic technologies even that can be used to address this concern. This is particularly true in the case of solid waste management. More than half of our solid waste generation is actually biodegradable. That's around 52%. One third, or around 28%, is actually recyclable. And so of the total solid waste that we generate every day, residual waste accounts for only 18%. That is less than 1/5 of our waste. And so if we use the appropriate technologies, we can immediately remove at least 20,000, the very least, metric tons of waste every day. And that is comparable to 7.3 million metric tons of solid waste every year that we can already convert into compost and use this as fertilizer. It should be noted that the agriculture sector consumes perhaps around 2 to 2.5 million metric tons of fertilizer every year. And so if we only convert our solid waste into fertilizer, then we can probably address a significant portion of our fertilizer requirements. It should be noted that of the more than 2 million metric tons of fertilizer that we consume every year, we only produce locally 300,000 metric tons. And the rest is being imported, mostly from China. And so compost is not merely about fertilizer usage. It has a more significant environmental impact because when we compost, we address methane generation in landfills, and therefore we contribute in decreasing greenhouse gases emission. Composts are considered to have bioremediation properties, and it enhances as well water retention in soil and aids in carbon sequestration. And so we are glad today that we have a lot of resource persons coming not only from the Industrial Technology Development Institute of the Department of Science and Technology, but we have somebody also from UP Diliman to share with us various technologies that can address not only managing our solid waste, but also our wastewater and air pollution as well. Let me take this opportunity, therefore, to thank our resource persons, Ms. Lovell Baracol, Mr. Mario Josefino Capule, Dr. Myra Tanasenko, Ms. Delma Perez, and Ms. Cherry Luz Moico, all of DOST ITDI. Let me also thank Mr. Levi Guillermo Higanso of UP Diliman. I hope that this will not merely be a learning session for us, intended solely to enrich our minds. I hope that this will instead catalyze us into action. I hope that this will allow us to convert our knowledge or the knowledge that we gain today into actual undertakings that will address the environmental problems that we are facing today. If we continue to ignore this, if we continue to pretend that this is not happening, then we deprive the future generations, our children's children, of their right to enjoy the beauty of Earth and to partake of the nourishment that it gives to human beings. If we don't do anything, then we are nothing more but another generation of greedy and selfish people who take everything today way beyond what we need, way beyond what can give us happiness, and leave nothing but morsels for those who will come tomorrow. So good morning, and thank you for attending our webinar.
Thank you very much, Engineer Helonga. Let us hear another message from Ms. Laurel A. Baracol, supervising SRS Technological Services Division from ITDI. Ma'am. Okay, at this point, we would like to acknowledge our Google Meet participants as well as our viewers through YouTube and the One Export portal. To all participating micro, small, and medium enterprises from different provinces in Western Visayas and other regions, state universities and colleges, DOST personnel, our colleagues from different regions, and interested stakeholders from different LGUs in Western Visayas, our friends from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources Region 6, Department of Agriculture Region 6, Office of Civil Defense Region 6, and our partners from University of the Philippines, Diliman. It is our pleasure to have here with us today the directors of the different regional offices, Engineer Rowan R. Helonga, Regional Director of DOST 6, and of course our friends from DOST ITDI, led by the very accommodating Director, Dr. Annabel V. Briones. Ma'am, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat dyan. Thanks to everyone for positively responding to our invitation. This webinar is an initiative of DOST 6 to help sustain cities and communities through technologies, specifically the technologies for clean environment, and to showcase technologies developed by researchers from DOST ITDI and UP Diliman. These technologies will provide for solutions to different problems encountered in our communities. This activity is also in line with the celebration of National Cleanup Week as in celebration of World Clean and Green Week as declared by Proclamation number 244 signed by President Fidel Ramos in 1993. It has been a long-standing goal of the United Nations to make cities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. With this, it is important to learn and utilize technologies that can help in achieving this goal. However, the onset of COVID-19 pandemic and enhanced quarantine measures has resulted to economic recession and was experienced globally. In Region 6, every business establishments and individuals struggle for health as well as economic survival. The Filipino spirit of resiliency in times of adversity like this leads us to explore various sources of income such as selling food products to our neighbors and the community as well. These technologies will definitely help improve the industry and the economic status of community as well. DOST's initiative on webinar aims to bring science and technology practitioner closer to our customers and help them recover and improve their communities and cities. Before we begin, we just have few reminders for all. For maximum webinar experience, we would like to remind everyone of our webinar house rules. Except for the speaker and moderator, be on listen-in mode by putting your microphone on mute. Refrain from making unnecessary sound or visual that may disrupt the presentation. Reserve your questions during the open forum. Participants attending via Google Meet may ask their questions directly to the speaker after they have been recognized by the moderator. Those attending via One Expert may send their questions through webinar chat window by ticking the Submit as a question box and hitting Send. Please use the following format when asking questions. Name of your institution, your question, name of the expert to whom you address the question. To get a certificate, complete the evaluation form after the webinar. The link to the form will be provided during the latter part of this webinar. I think we are now ready for the presentation. Our first speaker is no other than Mr. Mario Josefino Capule. Mr. Capule is currently designated as Science Research Specialist 2, Microbial Treatment Section, Environment and Biotechnology Division of the Industrial Technology Development Institute of DOST. He graduated Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and he is now 33 years in service. His research and development involvement include solid waste management, wastewater treatment facility operation, biogas system, pollution prevention and control through application, environmental risk assessment, and laboratory analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, we give the floor to Mr. Mario Josefino Capule. Sir.
Good morning po sa lahat. So this will be the first part of the presentation. So I will be presenting on portable biogas, the digester, which was developed by the Industrial Technology Development Institute. So as we know, there are a lot of biogas systems within the Philippines that is operating. So what you will see is the one developed by our institute, which is portable and would be utilized mostly by communities and households. So with this presentation, I hope you will be able to uh, gain information on the system and if it will be applicable for the community. So let us play po yung ating audio visual so that you will know it is all about. Thank you po.
Greetings. from the Industrial Technology Development Greetings from the Industrial Technology Development Institute, Department of Science and Technology. The ITDI. DOST has developed a portable biogas digester which can be used not only for animal waste but also for household or food waste. The biogas technology is an old technology in dealing with animal manure. Typically, pig manure has an open pit for the treatment of waste. The waste in the open pit produces methane and carbon dioxide. Methane and carbon dioxide are greenhouse gases that contributes drastically to global warming. The methane in the atmosphere will be converted to acid rain, which contribute to the corrosion of roofings near the area. In addition, the waste from the open pit leaches to the ground and contaminates the groundwater. When the open pit is full, the waste goes to nearby rivers causing drastic water pollution. The biogas technology removes all the potential pollution by entrapping the waste and produces biogas in return. Uncontrolled dumping of municipal waste contributes to air, land and water pollution. Waste materials produce toxic gases, methane and carbon dioxide, which contribute to global warming. Wastewater from these wastes leaches out to the ground and contributes to groundwater contamination. In addition, leachate, runoff to nearby bodies of water such as rivers and lakes. Biogas technology is an environment-friendly, low-cost treatment solution to the growing problems generated by the animal industries and municipal garbage. Biogas technology produces high-value gas in return to treating the waste. The table shows the typical values of biogas generation from different sources of waste. Most notably is pig manure, which produces 78 liters of gas per kilogram waste. Pre-treated kitchen waste can produce about 20 to 30 liters of gas per kilogram waste. For comparison, 1 kilogram of LPG is equivalent to 1.45 cubic meter of biogas. The flow diagram of the biomethanation of kitchen or food waste was based on our research and development. Kitchen and food waste goes through size reduction through shredding. This will enable the bacteria to consume the waste efficiently and effectively. After shredding, the materials will be mixed with Trichoderma harzianum. Trichoderma is a common fungal degrader and it degrades the fibrous content of the waste. After mixing with Trichoderma for 3 days, the substrate is then mixed with an inoculum. The inoculum is basically sludge with active anaerobic bacteria, which can be collected from an operational biogas digester. The mixture is loaded to the anaerobic reactor or biogas digester. After some time, the biogas digester will produce biogas and compost byproduct. There are certain factors that should be considered in biogas digestion. pH is an important factor since the bacteria inside the biogas digester lives in a neutral pH. If the pH of substrate is pH 5, this means that most of the bacteria are dead. Biogas production increases when the temperature of the digester is between 40 to 55 degrees Celsius. The minimum retention time of the digester is 20 days. Retention time is the needed time for the bacteria to consume the waste and increase their population. Biogas digester should not be loaded with chemicals that is harmful to the bacteria such as soap, chlorine, and acids. Mixing of the substrate inside the digester increases biogas production and is essential when dealing with food or kitchen waste. Generally, biogas can be used for cooking, lighting, and fuel for water pump, broiler heater, and generator sets. Biogas sludge can be dried and can be mixed with hog feeds or fish feeds and can be used as compost for plants. The 200-liter capacity portable biogas digester comprises of plastic drums. 1 drum is used for the digester and 2 drums for the gas holder. The digester capacity is about 211 liters while the 2 gas holders have a capacity of 290 liters. The 2 gas holders, when filled with biogas at full capacity, can be used in a biogas stove for 1 hour. One set of portable biogas digester comprises of 1 digester and 2 gas holders. The parts of the biogas digester system are discussed in the next slides. The portable biogas digester consists of an inlet, a stirrer, a gas outlet, an overflow, and a drain. In the left side, is the schematic diagram showing the inner view of the digester. The biogas holder comprises of two drums, 200 and 160-liter drums. The 160-liter drum is placed inside the 200-liter capacity drum. The gas holder will be loaded with water at the brim. This shows the gas holder guide. The gas holder guide composed of gas inlet and outlet, and a metal C-channel. The C-channel has holes at each end to guide the 160-liter drum from moving upward and downward when gas is being produced and utilized. In addition, the C-channel adds pressure to the biogas holder. The pictures show the portable biogas digesters installed in backyard piggeries at Marilao, Makawayan, and Obando in Bulacan Province. This is the portable biogas digester installed at a Korean village in Fairview, Quezon City. The digester was used for leftover food or kitchen waste. This one is the portable biogas digester installed at a material recovery facility in a barangay in Las Piñas City. The picture shows the training on the fabrication of the portable biogas digester in Tanay, Rizal last March 2014. If the drum digester is not enough for your generated waste, the 1,000-liter capacity portable biogas digester can be used, such as the IBC tank. For this type of digester, the minimum area requirement is 10 square meters with roofing. The IBC portable digester composed of an inlet, a mixer, a gas outlet, and a sludge withdrawal port. Sludge withdrawn can be dried and used as compost. The gas holder is the same as in the 200-liter portable digester. This picture shows the loading of inoculum to the IBC biogas digester installed in Silang, Cavite. And this is the IBC portable biogas digester installed at a poultry farm in Gapan, Nueva Ecija. The table shows the daily loading rate in the 200-liter and the 1,000-liter capacity portable biogas digester. Also shown here are the needed inputs for the startup operation of the two types of portable biogas digester. For the 200-liter capacity digester, 4 kilograms manure or kitchen waste, and 4 liters of water can be loaded daily. While in the 1,000-liter capacity digester, 20 kilograms manure or kitchen waste and 20 liters water can be loaded daily. To ensure safe operation of the biogas digester, always close the valve when not in use. The location of the digester must be in an open space with roofing. The area where the digester is located shall be declared a non-smoking or non-burning area. And place liquid detergent on the water seal of the gas holder to prevent breeding of mosquitoes. We have 2 accredited fabricators for the portable biogas digester technology: BBM Machine Shop in San Fernando, Pampanga, and El Angeles Machineries Corporation in Bacoor, Cavite. Please contact these fabricators for the actual price of the portable biogas digester. We do hope we provided you with basic information about the portable biogas digester. Please feel free to send us message if you have inquiries on this technology. Good day everyone. Greetings from the Industrial ITDIDOST.
Yes, take over.
Thank you very much, Mr. Capule, for that presentation. For questions, you may reserve your questions later during the open forum. You may also type your questions via Google Meet chat or OneExpert chat. Let us now proceed with our next speaker, who is no other than Dr. Myra Tansenko. Dr. Tansenko is currently designated as Supervising Science Research Specialist, Microbial Treatment Section, Environment and Biotechnology Division of the DOST-ITDI. She graduated at the Osaka University, Suita Campus, Osaka, Japan, with a PhD degree in Engineering Biotechnology program. She also took her Master of Science in Biological Sciences as magna cum laude at the University of Santo Tomas Graduate School, España, Manila. She graduated college at the Philippine Normal University with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Biology as cum laude. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give the floor to Dr. Myra Tansenko. Ma'am?
Good morning po. So I will be presenting the ITDI composting technologies. So, tama po si Sir Rowan kanina, sinabi niya na more than 50% of our solid waste is actually biodegradable, no? So, sino po ba ang responsible sa biodegradable waste? So, based po sa RA 9003, dapat ang naghahandle nan ay ang barangay level, no? So, dapat meron tayong initiative sa bahay-bahay pa lang ng composting o kaya sa bawat barangay natin or cluster barangay. So sa ITDI po, nag-develop kami ng different composting technologies, different scale actually. So ang unang-una po, siguro familiar kayo yun dun sa bioreactor composting technologies na pwede po sa mga LGUs o municipality or cities. And then, meron din po kami yung small scale na tinatawag na drum type lang siya, no? Tawag doon ay dual drum composting technologies. So pwede naman po yun sa mga small communities katulad ng mga maliliit na population ng barangay. And then meron pa po kami dinevelop lately na tinatawag naming household tumbling composter. Ito naman po yung pwede nating i-adapt sa mga bahay-bahay natin, no? Mga sa households po, no? So, ipapakita po using our videos yung aming tatlong technologies na to, no? Bioreactor, dual drum composter, and household tumbling composter. Julius, pa-play na lang yung videos.
ITDIDOST also developed a small-scale composting machine to cater those waste sources generating small volume of biodegradable waste. This is the dual drum composter. The dual drum composter can be used by barangays, schools, small villages or compound, small farms, and institutions or agencies generating small amount of organic wastes. The unit is a small-scale motorized composter with a feed capacity of 50 kilograms per drum. The drum rotation is about 1 minute per revolution, which is operated by a 1/4 horsepower motor. Composting operation is batch type for 4 to 5 days. Just like the bioreactor technology, composting using the dual drum technology is initiated with the startup operation for inoculant propagation. The startup phase or inoculant propagation takes around 2 days. The resulting product can then be used as inoculant for the regular composting process. If the adopter has existing compost pile, the startup phase can be skipped, and the adopter can utilize the compost pile as inoculant for regular composting. The regular composting process is almost the same as in the bioreactor, which include material preparation, in-vessel composting using the drum composter, curing, and screening and packing. The main difference is that the operation in the dual drum composter is batch type. The drum is rotated for 6 to 8 hours per day, and the mixture is unloaded after 4 to 5 days. As in the bioreactor technology, wet and dry organic wastes are used as composting materials. Here is the recommended mixture for a 50 kilogram drum. You will need 10 kilograms of dry or brown waste, 20 kilograms of wet or green waste, and 20 kilograms of the inoculant, which can be obtained after the startup operation, or from an existing compost pile. Dried yard waste may include fallen leaves, dry plant cuttings, or dry grass clippings, sawdust, cocoa peat or core dust, and agricultural wastes, such as rice straw, sugarcane bagasse, corn cobs, etc. Wet wastes or greens may include kitchen waste such as vegetable scrap, fruit peelings, and leftover food. Market waste such as vegetable and fruit scraps. Food processing wastes. Fresh garden wastes such as fresh grass clippings and plant cuttings. And fresh agricultural or farm waste. Nitrogen-rich wastes such as livestock manure and fish wastes can be added in wet waste, but in moderation. All composting materials are shredded prior to loading into the composter. Once the shredded materials are loaded, run the composter for 6 to 8 hours daily for 4 to 5 days. Check the moisture content of the initial mixture after about 1 hour of running using squeeze test method. Checking of moisture content should be done daily and adjust as needed. This shows the composting mixture before and after the composter operation. After 5 days of operation, the materials are partially degraded, and these are transferred to the curing area. So after 4 to 5 days, the compost mixture is then unloaded and raw composts are transferred to the curing area for further degradation and maturation. Curing phase may take 30 to 40 days. Mature compost is then sieved to remove materials that have not fully decomposed. Large or coarse particles can be shredded and mix with the new batch of materials for loading to the composter. Pack and label the compost, then store in dry and covered area. Site requirement for the dual drum composter is also the same as in the bioreactor technology, except that the minimum covered area required is 50 square meters. Also needed are water and electric supplies, and at least 2 workers. Recommended layout for the composting facility is also the same as in the bioreactor technology, considering the different stages of the composting process. The usual composting tools and equipment are also needed during the operation of the dual drum composter. Basically, these consist of personal protective equipment, shredding machine, weighing scale, common composting tools, cleaning tools, packing and labeling supplies, and personal hygiene supplies. We have 3 accredited fabricators for dual drum composter: Lamaco in Bacoor, Cavite, Suki Trading Corporation in Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu, and Bestmark Agro-Industrial Enterprises in Santa Barbara, Pangasinan. Here's the estimated cost of equipment and composting materials. The fabrication cost of the dual drum composter is about $120,000. Then you will also need shredder and composting supplies and materials. A total of around 290 to 320,000 pesos can be allocated for the composting operation. Please contact the accredited fabricators to get the updated price of the dual drum composter. Here's the list of adopters of the dual drum composter. From 2018 to January 2020, we have a total of 38 adopters. Majority of the beneficiaries are barangays. The next composting technology is applicable for home composting. The household tumbling composter was designed for daily loading of household-generated kitchen waste. The unit is composed of 2 30-liter drums as composters. Each drum can hold around 9.2 kilograms compost materials. The drum body is lined with holes for aeration. And the bottom trays are used for collection of harvested product. Aside from converting the household kitchen waste into compost, this household composter also allows family members to segregate their own waste, which complies with the RA 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, emphasizing waste segregation at source and composting of bio-waste. Since the organic waste are kept in an elevated and closed containers, pests such as rats, cockroaches, and flies are avoided. Moreover, it also prevents disturbance by our house pets like cats and dogs. Materials for household composting basically consists of household-generated kitchen waste. This may include leftover food, vegetable scraps, and fruit peelings. Dry materials are added as carbon source for decomposers, and to absorb high moisture content of kitchen waste. Dry waste may include dried yard waste, sawdust, or cocoa core dust. It is recommended to always chop the kitchen wastes and dry materials to speed up the decomposition process in the composter. Inoculant will be provided by ITDI during startup training to provide active decomposers in the composting materials. It will be added one time only during the start of composting operation. The procedure is simple: fresh kitchen waste is daily loaded in the composter. Based from reports, around 0.5 kilogram biodegradable waste is normally generated per household. Once the kitchen wastes are loaded, 2 to 3 layers of dry waste are added on top, then, the drum is tumbled 8 to 10 times to mix the drum content. With daily loading, one drum will be full within 3 weeks. Once the first drum is full, the other drum is then used for loading of household kitchen waste. The content of the first drum is unloaded when the second drum is full. To unload, the drum composter is turned upside down, and the materials are collected in the discharge tray. Harvested raw compost are kept in sacks for further maturation for at least 2 to 4 weeks. Mature composts are then screened. The fine compost product appears dark brown to black. Mix with garden soil. The product can be applied in backyard gardening. Coarse materials after sieving can be used as dry materials for daily loading of household kitchen waste. For site requirement, you just need a covered area of at least 1 square meter. The floor should be flat, and not prone to flooding. We have 2 accredited fabricators for the household tumbling composter. BBM Machine Shop in San Fernando, Pampanga, and El Angeles Machineries Corporation in Bacoor, Cavite. Please contact these fabricators for the actual price of household tumbling composter. So those are the ITDIDOST composting technologies for management of biodegradable wastes. Please feel free to send us message if you have inquiries on these technologies. Good day everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tansenko. Let us now proceed with our next speaker, who is no other than Ms. Rodelma Perez. Ms. Rodelma Perez is a licensed agricultural engineer with a Master of Science degree in Environmental Engineering. She is currently working as Science Research Specialist 2 at the Cleaner Production Section of the Environment and Biotechnology Division of the Industrial Technology and Development Institute of the DOST. She has over 9 years of experience in industrial environment
Wow.
management, which includes the conduct of research and development on pollution prevention control, water and wastewater treatment, capability building, design and evaluation of waste treatment facilities, and environmental technology verification. She had undergone various trainings and seminars on environmental awareness, water quality monitoring, cleaner production, pollution prevention, and environmental management. Ms. Perez is also part of the Environmental Technology Verification Group of ITDI. ETV is the process of developing and implementing a real-world test and demonstration to verify or prove the performance of a particular technology based on the claims of their proponents. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give the floor to Ms. Rodelma.
Hello, good morning. My name is Rodelma Perez from Environment and Biotechnology Division of ITDI. So today I will be presenting the compact wastewater treatment system developed by ITDI for MSMEs. The system was developed to provide a solution to MSMEs for the treatment of their wastewater and to allow them to meet the effluent standards. Next. Sir Julius, can you present the slide?
Greetings.
Okay. So, as I was saying, the system was developed to provide a solution to MSMEs for the treatment of their wastewater and to allow them to meet the effluent standards. So MSMEs play a very important role in the development of the Philippine economy. More than 99% of companies in the Philippines are MSMEs, and they employ more than 60% of the country's workforce. Um, Although this may have changed because of our current situation, we still cannot deny the impact that MSMEs have on our economy. However, due to their large number, the environmental pollution released from these establishments can be substantial, especially if it is left untreated. Can you return to the second slide, please? Second back, please. Okay. So unfortunately, majority of these enterprises tend to have a hard time ensuring compliance to environmental policies and standards. So possible reasons could be lack of skills and resources, lack of access to appropriate information about the proper treatment and disposal of their waste. Environmental compliance is not prioritized, particularly because it is perceived to be an additional cost, which can be quite expensive, especially when you require the services of consulting firms. So one of the growing environmental pressures that MSMEs face is the need to treat their generated wastewater. Next slide, please. Next, please. Okay. So facilities, back po. Facilities need to comply with RA 9275 or the Clean Water Act of the Philippines of 2004. So effluents or wastewater discharge from facilities must meet the effluent standards or the Department of Natural Resources and DNR Administrative Order to number 8 series of 2016 or the Water Quality Guidance and General Effluent Standards. So failure to meet the effluent standards would mean fines of 10,000 to 200,000 for every day of violation. So this may increase every 2 years. So also, this could lead to closure, suspension of development or construction, or cessation of operations upon PUB recommendation. So another is this could lead to 2 to 4 years imprisonment for failure to clean up and 50,000 to 100,000 for every day of violation. Next, please. So ITDI's response is the development of a low-cost wastewater treatment system that can be used by MSMEs. Typical wastewater treatment system would cost no less than 500,000 pesos, and most of them would be over-designed for MSMEs. That is, their capacity would be more than what is really needed. So this would lead to higher operating costs since bigger pumps and accessories would be used. So for the ITDI design, the technology cost for fabricators would be around 300,000 pesos only. But this is the cost for the fabricators who would buy the rights to fabricate the technology and sell it. Actual fabrication would be less than this. So compared to a typical wastewater treatment system, the ITDI wastewater treatment system is low cost and it can be made from different materials depending on the preference of the company. It can be made from concrete, plastic, metal, or a combination of these materials. So initially, the system was developed for fast food chains or quick service restaurants, but it can also be used by different industries, particularly those from the food industry, which have similar wastewater characteristics as that of a fast food chain. So picture on the right is a prototype that was tested in a fast food chain in Pasig, while the picture below is the design that was applied for patent. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay. So as previously mentioned, the system was initially developed for QSRs. So the basis for the development of the design is the wastewater characteristics and the effluent standards applicable to the said industry, as shown in the table. So QSR wastewater typically has higher organic strength, so high BOD from 600 to 1,200 milligram liters per day. High total solid suspended solids, high oil and grease, and higher oil and grease than the residential wastewater. Surfactants may also be present due to the use of detergents and other cleaning materials in washing the dishes and cooking utensils, as well as cleaning of equipment and floors. Sometimes they also use chlorine-based cleaning detergents. Food manufacturing facilities may have similar wastewater characteristics also to that of QSRs. So the design can also the design can also be used for these types of facilities. But it should also be noted that the design can also work for other industry, but we just need to acclimatize the microorganisms used in the system. So it's like training the microorganisms to treat the type of the wastewater. Next slide, please. So issues encountered by QSRs or fast food chains are also similar to problems that are faced by a lot of MSMEs. So typically, wastewater system would require a lot of space. So they have sometimes the MSMEs or other QSRs would have very limited space, and also the wastewater treatment they will be needing have high capital investment and high operating costs. So next slide, please. In consideration of these issues, so the wastewater treatment system was designed to be low cost and compact. Initial idea was for the system to fit in a typical parking slot and constructed underground so that the parking space can still be used. Operating costs should also be low for it to be sustainable. For the prototype developed, the daily operating cost was below 200 pesos only. So almost similar to, almost the same with the price of one order TV meal burger. Yan. So the system, next slide please. So the system is a biological treatment system comprised of equalization tank, a reaction tank, and a clarifier. It is actually a modified activated sludge system. The equalization tank will serve to homogenize the wastewater and avoid variations in flow rate and concentration of waste. So flow equalization will improve the performance of the reactor since it will eliminate or minimize shock loadings, dilute inhibiting substances, and stabilize pH. Based on the on experiment, wastewater treatment systems perform better when there is an effective equalization. So, and the reactor is the reactor is the heart of the treatment process. It is a chamber wherein biological treatment occurs or where certain microorganisms are used to degrade target pollutants. So this area is aerated to keep the microorganism alive and mixed. And the clarifier allows the remaining suspended solids in the wastewater to settle. The clarified wastewater then will be discharged as effluent, while portion of the settled sludge will be returned to the reactor as recycled sludge to ensure that there is sufficient concentration of microorganisms in the reactor to degrade target pollutants. When the concentration of sludge is already too high, some of the sludge is wasted. Dried sludge can be a good material for compost. One thing that we need to emphasize is that there should be a functioning and well-maintained grease trap for facilities with wastewater that have very high oil and grease content, as these would cause disruption in the operation of the compact wastewater treatment system. So having a good grease trap is the key to a good wastewater treatment system. Next slide, please. So shown here are the results of the tests conducted for the pilot scale setup in Pasig. So as we can see, the system can bring down the BOD levels to as low as 14 milligram per liter, and that all the parameters are within the effluent standards. So for the BOD, we have the 90% efficiency, 80% for TSS, 86 for surfactant, 84 for oil and grease. Yan. So results show that the system was able to consistently meet the standards in the Clean Water Act for discharge to Class C bodies of water. So on the picture, on your lower right is the picture of the influent and the effluent. Next slide, please. So here, ITDI is also coming up with a new design which would have a lower footprint than the previous design. So this design will be used and will be field tested in Boracay, hopefully this year. Next slide. Yan. Thank you. So for inquiries, please contact our supervisor, Engineer Rochelle El Retamor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Perez. This time, Dr. Myra Tansenko will be presenting the ITDI DOST bioreactor composting technology. May we request Dr. Tansenko?
Use ako na ba mag-present ng PowerPoint? Dual drum composter at saka household sampling composter. Ito po actually yung dapat na mauna, no? Yung bioreactor composting technology. Next, please. So matagal na pong na-develop ang bioreactor, 1996 pa. Meron po yung dalawang capacities. Yung 500 kg per day na input at saka 1 ton per day na input. Next, Julius. Yan. So ito po yung itsura ng loob ng bioreactor. So tinatawag po itong stirred tank kasi meron siyang paddle sa loob, no? Yung loading ng organic waste po, makikita nyo sa left side. And then eventually po dinadala ng paddle yung organic waste to the opposite end. Ang makukuha po natin doon ay raw compost na i-cure pa. Next, please. So, inuumpisahan po yung bioreactor composting process with a start-up operation. So, dito po tinuturo yung pagpaparami ng inoculant na tinatawag natin o yung active na decomposers ng ating organic materials. So, ang startup po, yung pagpaparami ng ating inoculant, it will take 2 days po. And then after that, yung product po na yan, ang magagamit natin sa regular composting process. Next, please. Ito po yung regular composting process. So, una po, dapat natin i-prepare yung ating feedstock o yung ating organic waste. Ang organic waste po natin dapat mixture ng wet and dry waste, no? Wet and dry, hindi po dapat na wet lang or dry alone. And then, kailangan po sinishred natin siya para mas madaling ma-decompose. So, after po ng feedstock preparation, saka natin siya ilalagay sa bioreactor. Ang operation ng bioreactor ay continuous. Wala pong patayan yung motor. No? Mabagal lang po ang rotation ng paddle, 4 revolution per hour. And then, ang ma-harvest po natin dyan ay 50% po ng load natin every day. So, kung halimbawa, 1 ton per day ang inyong bioreactor, every day makaka-harvest kayo ng 500 kilograms na raw compost. And then, pag na-harvest na natin siya, ilalagay natin siya sa curing area for minimum of 1 month. And then, saka natin siya screen and pack. Okay? Next, please. Ayan, ito po yung recommended naming proportion for organic waste. So, ang ipinipit po natin sa composting, kahit ano pong composting yan, wet and dry waste. Ang dry waste po, ito po yung carbon source ng ating decomposers. And sila po yung rich sa carbon, no? So, ang wet waste naman po, ito yung ating wet organic waste o yung tinatawag na greens. So, mataas po ang N content o nitrogen content ng mga to, no, na importante rin po sa ating decomposers. So, kailangan palagi silang mixture ng dry and wet waste. Ang recommended proportion po namin ay 1 part dry waste, 2 parts wet waste. So, andito po sa table yung recommended na value na kailangan nating i-feed sa bioreactor. Kung meron kayong 500 kilograms, ayan, dapat meron at least 170 na dry waste and then 330 na wet waste. Pag 1 ton naman, at least meron kayong 330 na dry waste and 670 na wet waste. So, paano po ba natin madidetermine kung anong kukunin nating capacity? So, importante po dito, i-consider natin yung ating waste characterization data o yung WACS. So, dun po ang malalaman natin kung ano dapat capacity natin. Baka naman, based dun sa WACS natin, maliit lang pala yung waste generation natin ng biodegradable waste. Hindi naman natin kailangan ng bioreactor, no? So, pagbasihan po natin yung WACS data natin. Next, please. So, yung susunod po, ito yung mga sample na organic waste. Example ng dry matters or browns. Yan, dry yard waste. Marami po tayo niyan. And then, kung meron naman po kayo available na sodas, pwede po. And then, agricultural waste. Sa ating mga palayan, pwede po sugarcane bagas, pwede po. Or kung meron kayong cocoa coir dust. So, sa area nyo ba, ano po bang available na dry matter natin sa composting? Next, please. And then, sa wet waste naman, ito po yung sample. Siyempre, yung kitchen waste natin, market waste, sa food processing waste, pwede po. And next, please. Sa ating wet waste po, pwede po tayong magsama ng mga nitrogen-rich sources. Katulad po nung nandito sa slide. Kung meron kayong manure, livestock waste, pwede po yan, mataas po nitrogen content na. Fresh grass clippings at saka yung fish waste. Pwede po tayo magsama nan in moderation po. At least 10% po ng total load. Pwede po tayo magsama nan. Kung meron lang pong available. Para tumaas po yung NPK value natin. Next, please. Ayan. So, before po tayo prepare ng ating materials, kailangan po i-shred natin sila para mabilis yung decomposition. So, kung mag-a-adapt po tayo ng bioreactor, dapat meron din po tayong shredder, no? At least 1 to 2 inches po yung needed na kanyang material para po madaling ma-decompose. Next, please. Ayan, so pag ready na po ang ating materials, ready na ang wet and dry waste, then, next please, ilo-load na siya sa bioreactor. Pero bago po siya i-load, kailangan po nating i-check muna yung kanyang moisture content. Ang recommended, needed moisture content po para sa microbial activity, optimum microbial activity, ay 50 to 60% na sa ating initial composting mixture. So, dapat po i-consider natin yon. So, madali lang po ang gagawin natin yung tinatawag na squeeze test. So, kung meron na tayong pinaghalong wet and dry waste, kuha lang ba tayo ng isang handful ng mixture natin and then squeeze natin. Pag po may tumulong tubig dyan, ibig sabihin po sobrang wet po yung mixture natin. So, ang solution lang po doon, mag-add tayo ng dry waste. Ngayon, kung wala naman pong tumulo doon sa ating pag nag-squeeze tayo, and then inopen natin yung hand natin, nag-form po siya ng ball. Yan po yung tinatawag nating estimated na 50 to 60% moisture content. So, ito po yung dapat nating i-achieve yung nasa gitna. Pero po, pag binuksan natin ang kamay natin at nag-break po yung material, ibig sabihin po noon ay dry naman yung ating mixture. So, masosolve po yan by adding additional wet waste or mag-add tayo ng tubig. Yan. Ganun po. So, sana po gawin natin yan pag kahit wala kayong machine sa bahay-bahay nyo o sa barangay composting nyo, sa pile composting, check po natin yung moisture content para ito po yung needed ng ng mga decomposers natin. 50 to 60% dapat yung kanilang moisture level. Ang initial mixture. Next, please. Now, pag okay na po yung ating condition ng ating initial mixture, ilo-load na po siya sa bioreactor. Next, please. And then eventually po, ayan, makaka-harvest na kayo ng raw compost. So, sabi ko nga kanina, in a day, ang dapat ma-harvest nyo ay at least 50% ng inyong niload na material. Okay? And then, ang paglabas po ng raw compost is staggered po yan. So, hindi naman one time lalabas si raw compost. So, staggered po siya, papatak yung raw compost from the bioreactor. Then, next please. Dadalhin po natin siya sa curing area. Sa curing area niyo po, pwedeng may cubicle kayo or meron kayong, ayan, ordinary piling lang. And then, during curing po, tinaturn din po yung pile na yan kasi iinit pa po yan dahil meron pa pong ongoing na decomposition na nangyayari. Next, please. Ayan. Pag mature na po ang compost, kailangan po natin siyang i-sieve o bistayin. And then makakakuha na po tayo ng fine materials. Yun po yung ating final product. Yung pong coarse material, pwede nating i-shred ulit and then ibalik sa bioreactor. Isama sa new mixture. Next, please. So, paano po ba natin madidetermine na mature na yung compost natin? Una, dapat hindi na siya umiinit. Dapat ang temperature niya for succeeding days ay ambient temperature na, no? And then, ang color po niya dapat dark brown to black. At saka wala po dapat siyang amoy, earthy smell, yan. Next, please. Saan po natin na-apply ang compost? Kami po nire-recommend namin sa ornamental garden, sa ating backyard gardening, landscaping. Next. And then next please. Ayan, kung i-commercially produce po natin ang compost natin at gagamitin sa food production, kailangan po mag-comply tayo sa Philippine National Standard for Organic Soil Amendment. Available naman po yung brochure na yan online. So, dapat po meron po tayong analysis ng mga nakikita natin sa slide, yung kanyang NPK, and yung quality ng compost, and then yung pathogen, and heavy metals. So, dapat kino-consider po natin, pinapa-analyze po natin yung ating sample kung magpo-commercial production po tayo ng ating product. Next, please. So, ito po yung dapat natin i-consider pag magbabudget tayo, magpuput up tayo ng composting facility. So, aside sa composting unit, dapat may shredder nga po. And then, meron tayong mga composting tools, PPEs, documentation supplies, and personal hygiene supplies. Next, please. So sa shredder, ang nire-recommend po namin ay multi-purpose shredder na good for wet and dry organic waste. And then kailangan natin ng weighing scale, preferably flat yung kanyang base. And then kailangan din po ng dial thermometer para ma-monitor po yung temperature sa curing pile. Next. Then yung mga basic composting tools na shovel, pala, kalaykay. Kailangan po i-consider natin na meron tayong feedstock preparation and then area for the composting unit, curing area, and then screening and packing area, at saka yung ating product storage. Next, please. Next, please. Julius, next. Ayan. So ito po yung sa Marikina City Composting Facility. So meron po silang 500 kilograms per day na bioreactor, and then meron silang curing area. Makikita nyo po, cubicle nga yung ginamit nila dito. And then makikita nyo yung nakapile dyan ay yung mature compost nila. And then meron din silang storage area ng kanilang finished product. Next. Next, please. Next, please. Ayan. So ito naman po yung sa Balangkas na Valenzuela Composting Facility. Ayan. Meron po kaming 4 na accredited fabricators. Sila Mako sa Cavite. Next. Next, ayan. Sila Mako po sa Cavite, si Marinya sa Pila, Laguna, si Pimentel sa Zamboanga, and Bestmark sa Pangasinan. Next, please. Ito po yung estimated cost ng bioreactors. Around 700,000 po yung 500 kilograms per day and 1.2 yung 1 ton per day. Check nyo lang po sa aming accredited fabricators yung exact amount. No? Next, please. Ayan. So, thank you po. Later na lang po kung meron kayong question about ITDI composting technologies. Thank you, Julius.
Thank you po, Dr. Myra Tansenko. We are very sorry po ulit for the problem. Nag-run out po dito sa office. And despite that, we have to continue po. So this time, we will hear from another speaker who is no other than Ms. Cherry Luz Moico. Ms. Moico is a senior science research specialist at the Industrial Technology Development Institute, a research institute at the DOST. She belongs to a competent and diligent team who provides technical services and assistance to advance industrial development by developing technologies that improve and modernize the production sector and help the industry become globally competitive. To present the technology transfer and commercialization procedure, let us give the floor to Ms. Sherry Luz Muico. Ma'am?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Sir Julius, are you going to present or ako mag-share? Hi, Sir Julius.
Ma'am, can you share po?
Okay, sige po.
Flash drive, sir.
Sandali. Can you hear me? Click. Okay. Morning, everyone. I'm Charilus Moico from the DOST Industrial Technology Development Institute. So I'll be presenting to you technology transfer and commercialization mechanism of the DOST ITDI. So to give you a brief overview of ITDI, we conduct applied R&D to generate new knowledge, manufacturing, mineral processing, and energy. So we also conduct knowledge translation or technology transfer and commercialization, which I am going to talk about later. So the DOST-ITDI is a multidisciplinary industrial R&D. So we have research and development divisions that conduct several different projects on improving the lives of the Filipino people. So we have food processing division, we have chemicals and energy division, material science division. We have also environment, which yung mga speakers natin kanina, they belong to this division. No? We also have the packaging technology division, and then we have also the technical services divisions of the ITDI. These are the technological services division, which I am kung saan ako nakabelong, the standard and testing division, and the National Metrology Laboratory division. We also have, of course, the support services, the finance and administrative division, and planning and management information systems division. So nakita po natin dito sa slide na pinapakita ko that we are a multidisciplinary industrial R&D, and then we also give technical services to the industries, MSMEs, and we also have this branch in ITDI that is focused on technology transfer and commercialization. So in ITDI, the Technological Services Division, dun po nakaangkla yung technology transfer and commercialization office. So the technology adoption and commercialization of ITDI technology transfer mechanism. So ang ITDI technology transfer mechanism natin, it always starts with letter of intent from our prospective adapter So yan, LOI, if you can see po sa ating stairs, no, the first step is the letter of intent. So it only means that our intention in adopting the ITDI technology. So what are these ITDI technologies? These ITDI technologies are these technologies generated by our researchers sa kanilang laboratories. And then these technologies, we found out na meron silang intellectual properties. And then from the intellectual properties na yan po, we sort of parang transfer these technologies for commercialization kasi we see that these technologies are possible for commercialization. So, pwede siyang makita or maibenta ng mga MSMEs or ng industry sa Pilipinas or sa ibang bansa. So, from the letter of intent, of course, we will acknowledge it. And then, the second step will be consultative meeting. So, this consultative meeting, kagad, kinakandak namin to. Bakit? Kasi gusto namin makita kung ano ang expectation ni client, ano ba yung hinahanap niya. Kaya ba naming ibigay yung hinahanap niya? Nasa amin ba yung hinahanap niya? Kasi pag nasa amin, we can offer the technologies we have sa aming shelf. Or kapag hindi naman sort of tingin namin hindi sa amin talaga siya magpo-fall, then we can refer them to other government agencies maybe or other NGOs na pwede namin ma-reference siya sa kanya. So, andito kasi po, meron tayong technology matching. So, at first, ina-assure talaga namin kung kami yung hinahanap niyo or hindi. So, after the consultative meeting, kung saan nga nag-meet ang client, ang ITDI, ang regional office, pati yung ating researchers, doon natin malalaman kung ano ba talaga yung needs nyo. And from that, of course, from the meeting, kailangan natin mag-conduct ng on-site technology needs assessment. So we will go to your place to conduct the technology needs assessment so that makita namin anong strategies ang pwede natin i-apply, anong fitted technologies ang pwede namin pwede nyong makuha or i-adapt sa DOST ITDI. Kapag po kami ay nagte-technology transfer, meron lang po kaming mga hinihinging mga requirements from the possible adapters. Possible adapters pa lang tawag namin kasi hindi pa natin sure kung magpupush tayo doon sa technology transfer. Ngayon po, ang requirement na ito ay requirement din ng regional offices kung saan nakalodge ang Fairness Opinion Board. The Fairness Opinion Board, they act as the third third party. Bakit sila third party? Kasi they are the ones who evaluate the transaction between the client and the government, which is ITDI, for example, in this scenario. So, kailangan po natin sila kasi kailangan natin ang kanilang opinion on whether the transaction is fair sa part ng client at sa part ng ITDI. So, ang mga kailangan po namin, hiningi namin ay company profile, business plan for the technology to be adopted, and then registration of business. It could either be SEC registration, BTR registration, CBA kung association kayo, and then audited financial statement for the last 2 years. And then, additional po dito is nagbibigay kami ng mga list of at least 5 clients with contact details. So, from that, ma'am, TNA, for example, fitted ang technologies namin sa inyo, then we will draft the agreement. This is a pre-draft agreement pa lang naman kasi we will subject it for FOR. Titingnan nga nila kung fair ang transaction between the government and the client. So we will, of course, in the agreement, we stipulate all our responsibilities, all our expectations from both sides. And then from that, of course, kung okay na sa atin, we can sign it. But before that, kailangan nating dumaan sa Fairness Opinion Report review. Kailangan nating dumaan sa Fairness Opinion Board na sinasabi ko kanina, na third party na nagre-review ng fairness ng transaction from side ng client and side ng ITDI. And then makaka-generate tayo doon from the FOB, from the review, makaka-generate tayo ng Fairness Opinion Report if it's granted or not. Pero basically, based on experience namin sa Technology Transfer and Business Development Office, mostly naman ng aming transactions ay na-approve. The FOB po pala ngayon ay nakalodge na po sa regional office. So kung kayo po ay interested sa aming technologies, papadaanin lang po talaga natin sa regional office ang ating transaction because they are the secretariat na ngayon ng FOB. So, the classification of ITDI technologies. So, ang technology po kasi ni ITDI ay sobrang dami. Hindi naman sa nagmamayabang, but sobrang dami po. And then, from these technologies, we categorize the technologies into, for example, commercialization stage, pre-commercialization stage, and then there are technologies for extension. There are technologies that are already public good, and there are also technologies for further R&D. In the slide, you will see that sa row natin, makikita natin, there is technology fee, running royalties, and if it requires FOB, what is the documents required here, and then the technology transfer modes and other notes. So let me explain to you. Pag commercialization po kasi, ang commercialization natin, it refers to the process of deriving income or profit from a technology. So ITDI generate knowledge, generate products, generate process, generate equipment design. So kanina, equipment designs yung mga for commercialization namin. Parang ang aming mga technologies that is related on environment and biotechnology are either process or equipment design. So kanina yung nakita natin equipment designs. We are also commercializing those technologies po. So in commercialization po, since these are all IP protected, so in line with the RA 100055, which is the Technology Transfer Act of the Philippines, so kailangan pong maibalik natin yung ating mga ginagastos sa gobyerno. Kaya may tech fee. Yung tech fee naman po ay hindi naman siya napupunta sa amin. Actually, naibabalik po siya sa government. So, hindi lang po talaga siya solely na parang binabayaran nyo si ITDI, but it's really the government that you're paying for the technology. Why are we paying this? Because, sabi ko nga sa inyo, ready na yung design to be adopted ng technology. So, hindi na kayo mag-iisip. So, if you are going to compare na ano ba ang design natin ng maganda for solid waste management, so mag-iisip pa yung engineers ng company na ganito, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Dapat ganito, dapat ganyan. No, sa amin si ITDI, we already developed the technologies. What we're looking for are technology adapters who will fabricate this equipment and who will disseminate or commercialize this equipment. So, hindi na mag-iisip. So, ang kapalit lang naman nun, of course, is the technology fee. And also the running royalties because as stipulated in RA 100055, naglalagay po tayo ng royalties on IP protected technologies. And then, pag commercialization level ang ating technologies, dadaan po siya sa FOB or Fairness Opinion Board. And then, ang ating document ay tinatawag nating Technology Licensing Agreement. It's a licensing agreement. Why? Because we are licensing the client to use the technology, to use the design, to use the process for commercialization. Kumbaga po, yung rights, kanina sinasabi ko kanina sa inyo na meron tong intellectual property rights. So, ang rights ng technologies ay nasa ITDI. We are just extending the rights to you. Pinapahiram namin yung rights sa inyo. And ang kapalit nun is the technology fee and the royalty fee. And then the technology transfer mode namin nga, sinabi ko na sa inyo, is licensing. So for the pre-commercialization, these pre-commercialization technologies, yun yung mga uh, technology technologies na may TRL level 4 to 6. So what are these technologies na may TRL 4 to 6? These are technology validated in the laboratory, and these are technologies demonstrated in relevant environment. So under the pre-commercialization, we do not actually, hindi kami nagre-require na ipasok na siya sa FOB. Pero meron po siyang tech fee and running royalty. And the document, tinawag namin, hindi pa rin siya licensing, but it's a memorandum of agreement. Kumbaga, conditional licensing siya with additional support services ng ITDI. So what can happen here is that, for example, process ang ina-adapt natin or product ang ina-adapt natin, you can have a conditional licensing with us in a sense na, for example, ang gusto niya lang mangyari pa sa product niya is for market testing kasi tinetest niyo pa lang kung kaya nyo as a client to produce this technology and to market this technology, then we can do a conditional licensing for market testing. We can also do conditional licensing if you want to go further na parang, yes, we wanted to produce na, yes, we want to buy na the equipment, but then again, we are restricted to this amount of production level, then we can also offer you conditional licensing. Another mode we can offer is that you can use the facilities of ITDI, pero we are limited on market testing only. So meron po kami ditong, for example, mga equipment sa DOST ITDI na you can use, you can borrow, you can rent, but in a minimal in a minimal time and minimal volume, kumbaga. So the condition is that adapters who intend to increase output over level considered commercial scale will renegotiate for TLA. So kumbaga from the pre-commercialization, iaangat natin siya sa commercialization stage. Next are the technologies that are for extension. Some of the technologies na for extension are with TechP, and ito po ay kino-cover lang ng MOA, or minsan nga po wala kasi these are parang either expired IPs or meron pang IP pero hindi namin nakikita for technology transfer. Hindi namin siya view as for technology transfer. So this may consist for example, training, seminars, and technical services. Next is yung public good. Yung public good po talaga ay ini-enjoy ng karamihan sa atin because these are, technologies na merong mga modules na pinapamigay na lang ni DOST ITDI. It's always available sa amin kapag hiningi nyo, kapag yung technologies ay public good. So this is for free distribution, and client can avail training as an extension service. So free distribution, we have that ready na siya for copy-paste na lang namin and then send namin sa email nyo, ganun. And then for further R&D, meron kaming mga researches na sometimes nai-stop na, for example, kailangan pa natin itong i-further R&D. So sometimes we also partner with industries, parang magiging cooperator natin siya. So project cooperation, maybe naka-lodge sa GIA namin or naka-lodge sa GAA natin. Depende. So partners or cooperators are offered right of first refusal as incentive. So bakit nag-offer kami ng right of first refusal? Kasi syempre, siya yung cooperator namin. So we give credit to that. We give recognition to that. That's why we offer right of first refusal. Sila yung naging partner namin to conduct R&D. So of course, nasa inyo po yung aming recognition na ibigay sa inyo, yung right of first refusal. So I think that's all po. If you want to know more about the Technology Transfer and Business Development Office, you can contact our director, Dr. Annabel V. Briones. And then nakita niyo po sa screen that you can also visit our site, www.itdi.dost.gov.ph. We are the Technological Services Division. You can contact us at tsd@itdi.dost.gov.ph. And please do follow our Facebook account kasi ang dami po naming updates doon, madami kaming webinars postings doon, madami din kaming livelihood series and modules posting doon. Meron kaming full call for fabricators doon, nandun lahat yung contact numbers, nandun lahat naka-upload yung mga pictures with information of the technologies, nandun yung mga specs, parang specs ng technology, specs ng machine. So you can visit us. So please do like our DOST ITDI page. Thank you very much po.
Thank you very much, Miss Michael. And the last but not the least, of course, our presenter will be Mr. Levi Guillermo L. Higanzo. Mr. Higanzo graduated Bachelor of Science in Economics and is currently taking Master of Development Economics both from the University of the Philippines. He works as a researcher and project assistant for various research studies by the University of the Philippines system, the Ateneo de Manila University, the Department of Energy, the Department of Science and Technology, and other NGOs on several topics, especially on economics, environment, and education. He also worked as a government or public relations manager for Teach for the Philippines Incorporated, an education organization headed by Elizabeth Zobel de Ayala and Clarissa Isabel Delgado to advance education reform in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear from our last speaker for this morning, Mr. Levi Guillermo L. Higanzo. Sir?
Hello, good morning. Yes, please let me know, sir, if nag-work po yung presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please present your skills.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, thank you pala po. I extend my gratitude to RD Rowan Ilonga and the rest of the team of UST Region 6. This is not the first time na in-invite po kami dito. The first po is nasa Boracay Rehabilitation, and then yung second po is Regional Science and Technology Week po last year. So I'm Levi Guillermo Higanzo po. Actually ako ay maayong aga or mayad nga aga, no. Ako halin actually sa Iloilo, and ako proud naging Balanon. So I can see some of our participants here as well from First District. And this is ito yung mga kasama ko po sa team. Dr. Len Herald B. Lim, Engineer Paul Alexander Dervin, Ms. Monica Daniel, Dr. Leola Morena Lim, and your student. So I'm representing the UP Diliman Institute of Chemistry. Project Rome was made possible and was funded by the department. Yes, sorry.
Sir, hindi po namin makita yung PowerPoint niyo, sir.
Okay. Saglit lang. I try to present it again. Please let me know if it is working po. Is it working, sir?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm representing for Dr. Len Herald B. Lim of UP Diliman Institute of Chemistry. We are under Project Rome. Project Rome was made possible by the Department of Science and Technology, PShared po. It was funded by PShared for its R&D, and then nag-pre-commercialization po kami yung stage po namin ngayon. Pre-com po kami under DOST TAPI. So thank you po. And I'll start my presentation with. So bakit po natin, bago ko siguro simulan, no, bakit po natin kailangan pangalagaan ng hangin? Actually, sa tatlong types of pollution, yung land, water, and air, yung air po kasi yung hindi natin nakikita. Pag marumi yung lupa or may nakikita tayong basura, obviously, alam natin na marumi yun, diba? Pagka yung tubig, hindi naman siya clear, hindi siya pwedeng inumin, yun, makikita natin agad na marumi siya. Pero yung air, no matter how we try to monitor or check it using our eyes lang ay hindi natin magagawa. Yun actually yung reason kung bakit kami nag-venture into this technology. So, under the RA 8749 or the Philippine Clean Air Act, which is actually on its 20th year since its enactment in 1999, kailangan po nating i-monitor yung mga current na mga criteria pollutants. Ito po yung 5, yung particulate matter, yung sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, photochemical oxidants, at saka yung carbon monoxide. Sa Pilipinas po, nire-regulate yung hangin through the DNR and DOLE. Yung DOLE po, they're more concerned dun sa workplace po natin. So that's why under the Occupational Safety and Health Center po yung nagre-regulate doon. So bakit kailangan natin mag-focus sa PM? Kung naalala nyo sa previous slides, meron tayong 5 criteria pollutants. Pero sa PM po tayo or particulate matter tayo, nagpo-focus yung room. Kasi yung particulate matter is respirable. Ibig sabihin, ito po ay ating tawag dito, we inhale, kumbaga, yung particulate matter. Even siguro kung saan tayo ngayon, iba't ibang lugar tayo ngayon, for sure there are PMs around us, pero hindi natin yun nakikita. And it is actually entering our lungs and our respiratory system. And it always is available and occurs in large concentrations. Sa right po, nakikita po natin yung diagram po ng human hair. Yung human hair, pag titingnan po natin, is nasa 50 to 70 microns po siya sa diameter. Pero yung mga pumapasok sa lungs natin ay as little as PM10 or PM2.5. Or kahit pa nga po mga ultra-fine na particles. And tama yung sinabi ni R.D. Longa kanina na actually yung air pollution ay nakakamatay or nakaka-lead sa premature deaths sa mga taong may lung and heart diseases. Every year po, 7 million po yung namamatay dahil sa air pollution at hindi natin alam yun. And children are mostly affected dahil yung kanilang lung function na hindi pa that developed. And 9 out of 10 people sa buong mundo, especially in urban areas, ay nakakalangha po ng polluted air with PM. Ano po ba yung current na state po ng air monitoring po sa atin? So governments around the world, actually nag-increase po yung focus sa air monitoring, especially on PM monitoring. Kung inyong naalala noong kasagsagan ng Taal volcano eruption during the start of the year, doon actually napukaw na naman yung focus ng lahat na magsuot ng face mask. Wala pang COVID. May COVID na noon pero wala pa siya sa Pilipinas. And during that time, nag-start yung mga taong mag-hoard, especially in Luzon area, NCR, and Calabarzon, ng face mask dahil nga sumabog yung Bukang Taal. And actually, nung time na yun, lahat ay nagpo-focus and gumagawa ng ways na para i-monitor yung hangin. Kasi even from my own place po dito sa Quezon City, ay nakikita ko po yung phase mismo na dala ng volcanic eruption na nagmo-move po siya. And pero imagine na yun mismo yung nakikita natin lang from afar. But if you'll see, actually sa ground level, kunwari, merong tambutso, di ba? Pag may tambutso, in a few seconds, mawawala na po yung pollution galing doon. But pag titingnan po natin siya sa isang malayong lugar or nasa mataas na lugar, doon na natin napapansin na yung lahat pala ng mga sasakyan ay nagre-resulta sa smog. And the PM monitoring po ngayon sa buong mundo ay can go as low as PM 2.5. Actually, yung laboratory po namin, salamat po sa kay Dr. Len Herald Villim, we were able to even monitor as little as PM 1. But PM 2.5 is the international standards when it comes to air quality monitoring. ito yung problema. PM monitoring devices ay available po yan, nabibili po yan. Pero lahat po foreign brands at napakamahal. It can go as much as 3 million pesos. And local servicing are not readily available. Ibig sabihin, syempre kasi foreign brand siya, wala masyadong local service providers. Ibig sabihin, pag masisira po yun, kailangan po natin ipaayos sa labas ng bansa. And it takes time, almost half a year for maintenance work lang. So imagine, bumili ka ng monitor ngayon, 3 milyon, pero nasira siya after quite some time lang, ilalabas mo siya, magbabayad ka ng service fees, magbabayad ka ng shipping fees, tapos makukuha mo pa siya after 6 months. And it is actually straining our, even our own local monitoring agencies, especially po yung DNR, EMB. Kaya po, dun po namin naisipan na Rome is the answer. Ang Rome po, I cannot disclose as much information po sa ngayon kasi actually naka-pending pa po yung aming IP or yung patent po namin. But Rome is the first Filipino-made air quality monitor. It is local technology and low-cost alternative, gawang Filipino, only na gawang Filipino po yan. And napaka-mura po. So it can go as low as 300,000 lang. That's 1/10 of the commercially available monitors. It can do real-time AQI readings. Ibig sabihin, kasi po sa ginagamit po ng DNR po ngayon, usually, kung hindi po siya real-time monitors, ay either yung mga filters. So pag mag-filter reading po kasi, kailangan po siya na, kunwari, kinuha po natin ngayon, pero bukas pa po lalabas yung resulta kasi kailangan mong ilagay yung filter dun sa isang lugar for quite some time, and then saka pa po siya i-analyze sa laboratories. Pero po yung Rome ay kaya po niya na real-time air quality readings. It can go as low as PM4, and we're developing PM2.5 po sa ngayon sa laboratory po. And it can also read temperature and humidity readings in minimum of 5-minute intervals. So kung sasabihin natin, we can start ngayon, let's say 11 a.m., tapos every 5 minutes po, meron po tayong reading na ating air quality. And it is easy to operate and Wi-Fi ready. Ibig sabihin, pwede po nating iwan yung monitors. Kunwari, lalagay po natin siya sa isang lugar sa, let's say, public park in the city, but we can monitor it from the city hall or municipal hall po. And it can run 24/7, hindi lang po for indoor, but also for outdoor setups. So kahit nasa gilid po yan ng daan, ay kayang-kaya po ng Rome. And ito po yung latest na good news siguro, it was collocated with commercial monitors. Ibig sabihin, tinest po namin siya alongside with commercial monitors na available sa market, and with the DNR EMB national standards through DNR NCR, ay lumabas po na yung correlation niya po ay napakaganda po. Next slide. Sorry. So, yung Rome po ay dinevelop under kay Dr. Len Herald Bilim. It was pushed through the support of the USDP Shared and the USDP TAPI. And currently po nasa pre-commercialization mode po kami. At ito po yung magandang dulot po namin sa environment kasi we were able to cut the material cost of production by half, and we reduce our overall footprint to 1/3 of the original size. Sa pagkaalala ko po nung last year sa RSTW or Regional Science and Technology Week ng DOST6, ganito pa po yung black po sa taas, yung itsura po ng Rome. Mukha po siyang parang maliit na maleta. Pero sa ngayon po, it's 1/3 of its size. And we were able to fit everything in a very small po and mobile na device. And yun nga po, sinabi ko po kanina, na yung Rome po ay can cost 1/10 of the price of commercially available air quality monitors. Yung sinasabi ko pong commercially available air quality monitors ay mga monitors po yan sa international na market, hindi po yan sa Pilipinas. So, sa 300,000 po actually na initial po namin na assessment ng price, ay nakasama na po doon yung parang profit margin po namin. Ano po. So actually, if titingnan po natin yung bill of materials, siguro ay mas mababa po, pa po dyan. And it can operate, yung operating and maintenance cost po niyan ay could total to only 29,000 lang po bawat taon. So we tried, yung sa picture po, nakikita po ninyo, yung sa bottom right po ay nakikita po yung pag-collocate po namin kasama sa City of Manila po na air quality monitor ng DNR. And for those who want to sign up, actually po magkakaroon na po kami yung ng agreement with the Quezon City government next month, and we will do our parang network po siya ng mga air quality monitors gaya ng EMD with the QC government on November during the Clean Air Month. Pero po sa mga gusto pa pong mag-sign up at pwede pong gamitin yung device po for free, ay pwede po kayong mag-head sa bit.ly/roamsignup at pwede nyo din pong i-check yung aming Facebook account sa facebook.com/roamphilippines, or you can email po kami sa roam.philippines@gmail.com.
Iba na talaga ang panahon ngayon. Ngunit, kahit ano pa man ang mangyari, kahit ano pang pagsubok ang darating, nandito pa rin kami, mga ngalaga sa hangin natin.
Thank you so much, sir. That ends my presentation.
Thank you very much, Sir Levy. We will use the remaining time for the open forum session. We would like to request the participants to briefly introduce themselves, their office or firm, then state their question and to whom you address the question. We will now be entertaining questions from our participants here in Google Meet and one expert. So we have question earlier from Leslie Uy. She's from Bukidnon, Northern Mindanao. Where can we avail or purchase the inoculum for the portable biogas digester? And can we store or grow it? How? So any representative from ITDI, I think, can answer the question.
Okay, sir. Good morning po. So, Jojo Kapuli from ITDI DOC. Ma'am, for the answer po dun sa kanyang regarding sa inoculum, if there is an existing biogas system within the area, you can obtain the inoculum or starter for the biogas po. Okay po. So, if not po, you can also start up, but it will take a longer time, about 3 weeks. If using the inoculum, you can immediately produce from 3 to 4 days gas for the biogas, portable biogas digester po. Okay po.
Thank you very much, sir. We have another question from Ma'am Josephine Gallo from EMB Region 6. I'd like to ask how DOST gives assistance to LGUs and MSMEs in terms of these technologies. Does DOST also provide financial assistance to LGUs, or does it give equipment instead?
Hello, sorry, Luis Marco po. Actually, ITDI only provides consultancy services, no? When it comes to financial aids and grants, you can
go to the regional offices.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
I know. Tama ba, ma'am?
Opo.
Yes.
Okay. Sige, ako na lang po yung sasagot. Hello? Hello, naririnig niyo po ako? Okay. So, for the assistance po ng DOST for LGUs and MSMEs, actually, ngayong araw na to, ang participants po natin ay composed ng LGUs at MSMEs. For the MSMEs, meron po kaming program na tinatawag na setup. Kung narinig niyo na po ang setup. Ang setup po ay Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program. This is for MSMEs. Under setup, meron po kaming tinatawag na Innovation Fund. So kung may mga technologies na kailangan po yung MSME, pwede po silang mag-signify ng kanilang interest to propose a project under DOST Region 6 na mag-avail ng Innovation Fund. At under this Innovation Fund na project, pwede silang maglagay doon sa proposal nila ng mga technologies for example, for solid waste management or for wastewater management. So, yun po for MSMEs. For LGUs naman po, meron kaming tinatawag na Grants and Aid Program. Yung Grants and Aid Program po ay for LGUs. Ang gagawin lang po nila is send lang po sila ng letter of intent na meron silang pinopropose na project, for example, for solid waste management, at isa sa at under sa proposal na yon, kailangan din nila ng technology, for example, for solid waste management or for wastewater management. Ang kaibahan po ng Grants and Aid at saka ng Setup Innovation Fund, ang Setup Innovation Fund po for MSMEs ay nagre-require po siya ng refund at zero interest. While yung sa LGUs naman po, dahil ito po ay Grants and Aid na program, wala po tong refund. So yun po yung mga assistance ng DOST Region 6 for LGUs and MSMEs. Also po, for MSMEs, meron din po tayong tinatawag na consultancy program. Yung consultancy po, meron under po doon yung cleaner production. So pwede po itong ma-avail ng MSMEs. In cleaner production, nag-deploy po kami ng mga consultants na mag-a-assess po nung, for example, kung may mga problem sila, may problem yung MSME in terms of, for example, managing waste, yung consultants yung magbibigay ng advice, consultancy advice, kung paano nila mamamanage yung kanilang waste. So, yun po ano. And also, I would like to clarify po yung pinresent po kanina ni Ma'am Muico regarding po sa licensing fees, yung process po for technology transfer, that is only applicable po for the MSMEs na gustong mag-adapt ng technology. What we mean by this is that sila po yung magfa-fabricate, sila po yung gagawa ng mga equipment to make it available sa market na mabibili ng LGUs at ng MSMEs. So yun po yung, doon po applicable yung ating licensing fees, royalty fees, and yung FOR na sinasabi po ni Ma'am Muico. So I hope that answers your question, Ma'am Josephine.
Okay, thank you very much po, Ma'am Kait. Next, we have a question from Daina Akoyong from Western Visayas. Sir, do we have a technology to recycle used cooking oil and animal fats? I think this is addressed to the DOST ITDI.
Julie, saan ang question? Paulit nga.
She is asking po if do we have a technology to recycle used cooking oil and animal fats?
Sa used cooking oil kasi kino-consider na siya as hazardous waste, di ba? Sa EMB, sa DNR. So, regulated ang paggamit ng used cooking oil eh. And then, yung isa pa, yung used fat. Tama ba?
Animal fat? Animal fat po, ma'am.
Ayun, kung animal fats, according sa expert namin si Dave Herrera, Engineer Dave, pwede naman daw sa biogas yan.
Okay po, thank you, ma'am. We have another question from Romela Ratilla. She's from DOST Region 10. May I know if there is a mechanism to collect or make use of the methane gas from portable biogas digester?
Okay, sir. Good morning po. So, bali, ano po yung magiging application for portable biogas? Usually po, yung portable biogas, ang direct application po ay for cooking. And if in excess po yung gas production, you can utilize it for lighting. Pero other applications po, malaking gas or methane requirement po ang kailangan para electric generation. Usually po, malaki po yung capacity at saka requirements ng methane para utilize for electric generation. So primarily po, for portable systems natin po, for cooking po ang application. So in excess, lighting po na meron kasing available sa market natin ngayon yung biogas lamp. Usually ginagamit for perimeter lighting. Installed po siya sa mga ilang figures natin dyan po sa south of Southern Luzon, around Cavite area, Batangas po. So yun po ang ano natin sa methane generation natin from our portable biogas digesters po. Okay po, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. We have another question from Google Meet from Ma'am LV Senita. She is from DOST Region 7. For Ma'am Delma Perez, pinag-usapan natin yung organic wastewater treatment. Pwede po bang magtanong tungkol sa electroplating wastewater treatment? Available po ba yung technology description sa ITDI? And can you discuss kahit brief lang na process flow of the treatment process po?
Hello po. Sorry na disconnect. Sa ngayon po hindi po siya available. Wala po kaming existing na project on electroplating. And our team is also concentrating sa organic wastewater treatment po. Biological wastewater treatment.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Next, we have a question from James Earl Ogatis. Paano po maka-access ang mga farmer cooperatives and associations ang DOST ng DOST Agri interventions specifically on swine raisers?
Hello, good afternoon po, Sir James Earl. Napakadali lang pong mag-avail po or maka-access ng interventions ng DOST. Unang-una po, magsulat lang po kayo ng letter addressed to the regional director po ng DOST Region 6. And then yun po, from there, re-respond kami and then we will identify, we will coordinate with the provincial S&T center, S&T office, and we will identify kung ano yung mga possible na S&T intervention na gagawin sa inyong cooperative. So thank you po for that question, Sir James.
Unless meron pang questions from the participants dito po sa Google Meet. If wala na, I think that's the last question for today. We apologize if some of the questions cannot be accommodated. Anyway, you may reach us through our official social media accounts in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's at DOST Region 6 and at OneExpertPH. And if you're interested to know more about the topics discussed and for any of your concerns. So posted on the screen is also the link to the evaluation form. We hope that all of the participants can take time to send us feedback before leaving the webinar. We greatly appreciate it. So that ends our webinar for today. Being resilient is to see opportunity in times of adversity. Keep safe, everyone, and again, madamo gid na salamat.